So it's not really that cold, but it was windy. Hopefully the audio will be picked up without too much wind interference with this scarf blocking the wind. Yeah, the seasons are doing the weird stuff again. I could probably be out here in a t-shirt. I've made a bunch of videos and didn't release them. I've written a lot and didn't release that. There's so much weird stuff that I'm hitting a checkpoint that was described to me a while ago, which is like a combination of burnout and just a interesting way one has to organize this type of information and combination of what's going on in the world. I will say the easiest thing is something personal, which is not what this is supposed to be about, but it's something, whenever there's something like that, and it might be helpful to others, I'll talk about it. But I'm about to sneeze. How you doing? That I haven't eaten animal protein probably in almost 2 years now. And it was when I first made videos in 2016, I think, earlier in the year. I was eating animal protein, then I went through an accident, which I've described a lot, which is where an old injury kind of got pulled due to doing labor work. I needed a cervical brace, an arm, shoulder brace, and all that. I was like laid up, and if I tripped it at any point during that year, I'd be in bed for days to weeks. And so at one point during that, with some complications of the injury, I switched back over, like I had back in like 2008 and 9, to no animal products, and actually alleviated a lot of the symptoms to the point where there was pain and neurological and these like tissue repair injuries. And so I accelerated healing by doing that. And so I stayed with it. And then this winter came through, and I don't know what it was, but I also haven't been active in the traditional sense because of the previous injury, because it's still there. If I slip up and like have to catch myself in the shoulder or even like lift a gallon of water or something, it hurts. And so whatever that means, I felt real drained. Ow. And almost dislocated my shoulder, my elbow, right there. I felt drained, and then couldn't really pinpoint what it was, but I think a combination of not going out purposely to get the right combination of foods and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm tired, so I slowly introduced some animal products back into each meal, maybe not each meal, and I feel better for what it's worth. I was noticing some weird issues where basically I wasn't able to get enough energy, and that can be combined with the fact that I have protein leaking out of a tissue because of a tendon injury that's not healing, and so it continuously leaks protein into the blood. That's part of why I stopped eating so much of it, or animal product, a couple years ago. So somewhere in there is a balance, which I'm looking for, and will be sufficient. But the other aspect, so basically you have yin and yang, energies, foods, whatever. And in that plant diet, I've been eating yin for the longest time to calm my body down, allow it to heal and rest and harmonize certain emotions and things like that. And so that worked. But I probably just did a little bit too much. And you can add yang energies through yang foods back into your diet. And usually these are closer to animal products and proteins and things like that, because they'll carry a lot of connective tissue, proteins, muscles, and these will be utilized to creating the same thing, the body, the energy, I mean the muscles, the infrastructure of the body, the matrix, and these are considered hard instead of getting certain nutrients in a different way or different types of nutrients. And so that's helpful. That's something. The rest of what I could say is the strangest thing. So there's a projected, it's not a burnout. Basically, we all everyone involved in the project are part of a kind of ongoing experimentation. All right. And in that experimentation, there are physical, mental, and subconscious or energetic or chemical aspects of the experience, the experiment, where those parts of the mind or body are being modified or tested, manipulated, researched, whatever. And so everybody in those projects that were cleared are getting modifications, and that's what I've been noticing. Most of it is intelligence increase. Some of it's to do with strength and the ability to stay awake, regardless of whether that's negatively impacting your body, and a lot of other things. And then the final one is when you can heal yourself to the degree where you used to need big generators to rebuild tissue. That's part of the plan for the human race, whether you don't want to see it or don't like it or not. It's pretty much already happened. What has to be avoided is the kind of negative dystopian outcome where everybody relies on the technology to such a degree that we end up losing control of our biology and even the way biology mixes with the technology that we're in. That we're in a kind of a delicate relationship, which is modulated by the necessity or use for technological benefits or upgrades, if you will, more so just different technologies, and the willingness to preserve natural function and possibly limitation of the body. One could say that some of the limitations, the perceptual limitations, are necessary in the way of stabilizing human consciousness. And if you woke up one day and you no longer had to eat or breathe or something, or walk, or these are basic ones, but that it would disrupt your consciousness, your personality, to such a level that it's unpredictable who you would become. It's the whole situation with power, that the more power, the more freedom, usually the more often there are disruptions. There are identity issues and changes between who that person was and who they've become. Hope the wind isn't penetrating a wind guard. And that's the issue with all of this. And there's so much that I want to talk about, but it comes through in blips. For instance, and of course the wind's going to blow as hard as it ever has here. We'll find out. For instance, there's secret societies and bloodline generational families